Hey everyone, Nicole Herrick here. This is Megan Thompson.
Hello.
So Megan is a celebrant and we're going to make over her office / meeting room.
Yeah.
It's a bit it's blank at the moment, so we are ready to get stuck in and do some designing and make it all beautiful for her clients. So Megan's office is in her home, and as you can see, it's quite a small room. It's about the size of a single bedroom, and at the moment it's just not in a place where she could actually invite clients over if they need to sign paperwork or anything. So let's make it pretty for her. Now, before I actually start telling you about the design, I need to mention that I am not a designer in any way. I am not an interior designer. I am not a contractor. I'm just a complete beginner, complete DIYer. I just like making things look pretty. Okay, so, and also Megan is one of my best friends. That's why she's letting me do this crazy stuff to her office. So Megan wanted a Hamptons / luxe inspired home office. So here's just a little mood board that I put together of sort of things that I thought she might like. And I actually presented that to her just to check that we're on the same page of what direction she wanted to go in. And as you can see, I've got a fireplace as inspiration, and I've actually got it done in this little sketch. I'm sorry, I'm a terrible illustrator. So this is just the basic layout of the room. We want a couple of chairs that her clients can sit in, fireplace, and then a long desk at the back. We also need some storage for the printer and stuff. So that is going to be on the wall that you can't see in this illustration. Okay, so the first thing I did is a wallpaper, that back feature wall. Now, I've never wallpapered before. I just kind of looked up some tutorials on YouTube, as you're doing right now. And yeah, the first thing I needed to do was set a plumb line. So I just taped a piece of string up the top, used a weight at the bottom, and got a nice vertical plumb line. I then just put some glue on the back of the wallpaper, and I'm putting the very first panel of wallpaper right in the center of the room. So that plumb line is not in the dead center of the room. It's in the dead center plus half of one of the panels of wallpaper. Does that make any sense? I don't know. And so that plumb line, you just make sure that it's lined up perfectly with the side of the first panel. And then after that, you don't need any plumb lines. You just continue joining them up. And yeah, with this wallpaper, this is called Grasscloth. It's actually a faux Grasscloth. I think it was about $50 to $60. We only needed one roll of this, and I'll link below where I bought this from on eBay in case you want to get some. But it's such a beautiful luxe texture. I absolutely love Grasscloth. It instantly brings a little bit of luxe to any room. Next up was wainscoting time. So I'd never done wainscoting before either. So I just did this sort of visual for myself in Adobe InDesign, just so I could kind of work out how much timber I was going to need. And I got all of the timber from Bunnings, from the moldings and trim section. And I'll also link below the pieces that I use so you can check it out. But yeah, chair rail and then just lots of boxes on the wall. I bought raw timber, so I had to prime and then paint everything. That was a bit annoying. I have a miter saw, so that was really easy. Miter saws are really cheap, guys. So if you don't have one, just go and get one. And if you don't have another person helping you, a chair and a tripod makes a great second pair of hands. So this is the chair rail that I'm putting up here. And then this is the wainscoting. So you can see here I'm hammering in 3 nails per section, and I'm doing a locking method. So some are going in from the outside edge and then some are going in from the inside edge, and that just stops it being able to be just yanked off the wall. It locks it in place, if you like. And then once you've got these on, you need to fill all of the gaps. There is a massive gap just here in this corner. They're not usually that big, but I just wanted to show you how easy it is just to clean up any little gaps like this with wood filler. Once this was done, I let that dry, gave it a little tiny sand, and then just a quick lick of paint across all of the decorative trim to seal it all up. You can also put caulking, but you don't need it. So now it is time for the fireplace. So I bought this fireplace for $120 secondhand on Gumtree, and I just took off the timber part and I just prepped it with some basically like liquid sandpaper, and then I primed it. You've got to use Zinza BIN 123 for this kind of work, so I'll pop that in the link below. But this is how it turned out, all white. It looks brand new. Oh, it was so satisfying. I also picked up some free marble tile offcuts from someone who had smashed a couple of massive big sheets. So yeah, I bought a tile cutter for $15 and learned how to cut a tile on a wet saw, and it was really difficult, so that's why I'm doing a little yelp at the end. I just put down some MDF and some rubber matting underneath, and then trimmed it out with some 1/4 round, just so that she can take it out. I'm not sort of damaging the actual sort of structure of the room. Now, unfortunately, we couldn't install the electric part of the fireplace because it was backing into a pantry, and we just didn't feel that was safe. But I could still install the surround and the mantle to give that beautiful warm fireplace feeling. So we needed a cabinet to put in all of her files and sort of junky things, the printer, etc. So I bought this cabinet for $30, and I just mixed up my own grey paint. You always add either a little bit of blue or a little bit of red with your grey paint to give it a little bit more depth. And obviously I did a bit of liquid sandpaper and primed it ahead of time, but this is just me painting it. Very, very satisfying to go from ugly brown to a nice pretty grey. Now, when you're taking the doors off, I definitely recommend making sure that you label all of your hinges and exactly where they go, and all of your doors as well. So you have to put old hinges back on in the right spot, the right way up, the right way around, otherwise they'll end up not being straight. And because these ones are old, they're not adjustable. So little tip there, just make sure you label all of your hinges. For Megan's desk, we needed something very long but narrow in depth. So I picked up a console table and 2 bedside tables. I think the console table was about $50, and the 2 bedside tables was $10 total. So cheap. And then obviously I primed it and everything, but this table is only about 30 centimeters wide, so just perfect that it doesn't take up a huge amount of space in her office. Now I just painted everything white, and then I decided to do some fancy handles. So I basically just bought some faux leather belts, and I used the outside, so the suede side, as the front of the handle, and just used some nuts and bolts, and that gave us a little bit of a slightly more luxury vibe. And also another tip, when you're taking out drawers, make sure you label them, otherwise they won't go back in straight. One thing a lot of people forget about is lighting. It makes such a difference in every room. So Megan only had a naked bulb, so I got this changed to a multi-directional light so that I can cast light onto the feature wall, the artwork on the other wall, the other artwork on the other wall, and then one straight down to the meeting room. Okay, so I'm finally finished. Megan is just about to see the room for the very first time. She promises me that she has not even snuck a peek, even though this is in her own house. I'm really nervous because, as I said before, this is my very first styling, decorating job for anyone other than myself. So absolutely bricking it at the moment, but hopefully she likes it. Oh my god! Oh my god!
amazing.
It looks so much fun.
It looks so much bigger as
I
well.
know! It looks twice the size of what it was. Do you remember like how just cramped and empty
Yeah.
it was?
I would never have thought in a million years that this stuff would fit in here.
I know. I'm so glad that we didn't get those really expensive chairs because they would have been huge.
They're perfect.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for watching. I will try and link any of the styling items in the description below for you.